Dr. Gordon Zook. And I'm just gonna share a little bit about that award. The award recognizes alumni who have graduated from Eastern University within the past 10 years for significant contributions to church, vocation, and community. The Distinguished Young Alumni embodies Christian values in their work and personal life, and the award recognizes those who are outstanding leaders in their vocation and community, and it shows promise of future professional growth. Dr. Gordon Zook currently serves as the Chief Executive Office of 10,000 Villages, a fair trade retailer and wholesaler based in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Dr. Zook earned his PhD in organizational leadership from Eastern in 2015, and his dissertation focused on how leadership teams assess and impact the effectiveness of their organizations. According to Dr. Chang, Department Chair of the PhD in Organizational Leadership, and the rest of the PhD faculty, Dr. Zook's life has exemplified Eastern University's mission of integrating Christian faith, reason, and justice. He may not fit the typical profile of a young alumnus, but he is a young person at heart. And it is an honor to present to you a Dr. Zook with this Distinguished Young Alumnus of the Year Award.
Okay, well, thank you for that clarification of what is meant by young. My kids certainly got a kick out of that when we told them that I was recognized as the Young Alumnus of the Year, and they said, okay. But I did graduate within the past 10 years, so that is what ends up qualifying me for this. And I want to thank Dr. Chang and the rest of the Organizational Leadership PhD program for their support and nomination of me for this award. Just as I think about the my experience here at Eastern, and so for me it was the PhD program. I was part of cohort 4, so the program was reasonably new and finding its footing. But due to the leadership of people like Dr. David Greenhalgh and Dr. Hewan Chang, the program has established, even at that point, a really strong foundation and a commitment to engaging with the broad leadership community around the world. But we did it from a Christian perspective, and that's what to me was really meaningful and really helpful. So we engaged leadership thinkers of all types. And one of our first courses was studying major leadership thinkers and writers, starting from antiquity through to the present. And again, one of the best learning experiences for me was each week we had a different leadership thinker, author, that we had to read a seminal work of theirs. And then we had 2 pages, double-spaced, 1-inch margins, to reflect on that, to analyze their key thoughts, and to apply it to leadership today. And so Dr. Tony Blair made sure that we lived within those guidelines and those restrictions. So it was just really, really helpful in terms of boiling down concepts and applying them. And in 2 pages, you have no words to waste. And that is a lesson that has remained with me since then. The other thing so a couple things that I appreciated as well about the program, just the commitment of our professors, both to their subjects of expertise, what they taught. They were very knowledgeable, but they were also committed to each of us as individuals. And so our cohort came from a wide variety of backgrounds, and yet our professors engaged each of us where we were. And then the classmates, the cohort that we were part of. Over the 3 years that we had classes, we were able to develop deep relationships. We understood some of what was happening in each of our lives, and as a result, we were then able to not only learn from each other, but to challenge each other, and to say, well, that's not the way I see it. And yet we could engage each other because we had that kind of a foundation and a commitment to each other. So since I finished my PhD program at Eastern, I've had a variety of work experiences. My wife and I spent 5 years in Calcutta, India, working with Mennonite Central Committee. There I was able to use some of the materials I had studied. And in fact, I prepared a course on, a 2-day seminar on leadership that it presented to pastors, Mennonite church pastors in India. Something that they found very meaningful and challenging to them as I looked at what are characteristics of good leaders and bad leaders, and how do we as leaders position ourselves appropriately there. As has been mentioned, but I'll make a slight correction. I was Chief Executive Officer of 10,000 Villages for 3 years following our return from India. Led that organization through the years of COVID, so challenges that were not anticipated when I took on the assignment. But that was a wonderful opportunity as we provided opportunities for disadvantaged artisans from around the world to connect with marketplaces. For the last 1.5 years now, excuse me, I'm gonna catch my breath. I've worked for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and I serve as the Chief of the Grants and Fiscal Services Division in Workforce Development. And our role is to provide grants to organizations across the state of Pennsylvania in developing the workforce in Pennsylvania, with the goal of equipping people for family-sustaining employment, which is just absolutely critical these days as we approach, as we continue to journey through this economic time. And then, just finally, my most important role is that of father and grandfather. Appreciate what Maddie mentioned, is that one of the things that we have to know is to know what's worth pursuing. And as I look back on the things that I've done and accomplished in my life, the most important and the most lasting is going to be in the legacies of my children. And so to the extent that I have helped them develop their skills and their attitudes and their approach to life, that's where my true legacy lies. My wife Carol was hoping to be with me today, but she is with our with our grandson as we journey with him and his parents through a medical situation. But a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for this honor.